Hi, I'm Ramon Tapia, and you're watching Toasted.
Ramon, welcome to Armada HQ.
Hi, how you doing? You good?
You're playing here tonight?
Yeah. I just did a short set of an hour to just to help Elke out with his album presentation in English.
How come you guys are friends, actually? Of course, you're a lovable guy, but
It was actually funny. He sent me a mail, I think a year ago or something, and he was like, "Yeah, I love your stuff so much," and I was like, "What? You do what?" Because I didn't expect that. He especially with the Ramon Tapia stuff I do is a bit more tech house techno, so I didn't expect for him to say like, "Hey, dude, I really love your stuff," and I was doing a new project called Amari, and he picked it up straight away, and he was like, "Okay, I'm doing this in the offices here, and can you come over?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure."
did you go here before the Armada HQ?
No, it's the first time I come here though. It's ridiculously amazing. Really, if you're outside, you're a bit it's a bit disillusioned because you think it's totally different inside, but once you step inside, you go like, holy shit, it's really amazing. I mean, if you have a club in your office, you have a great fucking office.
Going to your biography, which is actually very interesting to read. One of the things I picked out, your dad is a famous Chilean musician, still is probably.
Well, no, famous is a big word, but when there was a dictatorship with Pinochet, he and his friends were like against of course the regime back in the day, and whatever you said was, if you said something wrong about the president, then or the dictator, then shit would go wrong, and so he got on the blacklist with a lot of. I mean, he was not the only one. I mean, half of the country was like on the blacklist. So, and then he was lucky enough to get a ticket on a ship and left the ship in Holland. And the rest is history. And
That's where you met your mom.
yeah,
You grew up in Holland,
grew up in Holland.
and then you decided to move to Belgium, and you have this
Well, I actually studied in Belgium when I was 16.
diamond cutter.
Yeah,
Can you still do that, actually? Because it's probably something that you will never...
Yeah, well, it's been 20 years ago that I did it because after that I started DJing and shit like that. But I still can make rings and I still can diamond cut and stuff like that. So it's
It's apparently really difficult. I mean, you have to really judge what's a stone, right?
yes, but I mean I was not really good. So don't make any illusions that I'm like the diamond cutter from heaven. Yeah, he did good stuff. I did stuff, but I wasn't that good. So just to put things straight, So, but yes, I studied it. I had a real big passion for creating in general. I always had a feeling for music, but I have parents, and my parents were like, "Yeah, you have to do something. You have to study." So, and I was the first one of the family to go to study, and I went to Antwerp, finished my school. Meanwhile, I was DJing already, and then I told my mom I'm gonna be a DJ. So,
She was happy.
wha like hell. No, she hated it. She hated it. She was like, "Yeah, whatever you want, you're not gonna get it from me. So it's either you work for it and you show that you can do it." I stopped working because I was working also with a jeweler and stuff like that, and I just focused on my DJing and production techniques and all that stuff. And that's where I was lucky enough to get picked up. And there was a label in Germany called Great Stuff that was really big back in, what was it, 2007, 2008. And then everything kickstarted and everything went so fast, So, well, you see these days with the younger guys, like one day you don't know them, the other day they're the biggest ever. So,
A lot of people want to be a famous DJ, and they probably listen to this and go like, okay, now give me some piece of advice. What should I really do? What's one important thing that you could really tell me?
it's really simple. Don't give up, because when I started DJing when I was 16, well, DJing, trying to put two records together. The guys that I started with, because it's a group thing, you see these days also. From the 15 guys that I started with, I'm the only one that's left. So it's I see DJing these days as the rollerblading time, and you have the yo-yo time when you're young, and you have the skateboard time. It's the same with DJing. Now, if a young kid complains to his dad, yeah, dad, I want to DJ. Okay, he gives a tractor and be quiet. You need tractor, 2 USBs or 2 CDJs and whatever. And you even have sync now on a Pioneer. So the fun is gone really fast. In the past, when I started, I was buying a vinyl. All my allowance, my weekly allowance, went to a record. One record. I mean, nowadays, if you would say, like, yeah, you have to spend your whole allowance every week on Beatport, they say, like, hell no. So, as I said, I think it's becoming a period of time in the youth these days, because I see a lot of young kids starting with it, and then 3 months later they sell everything.
So keep on doing it, but
the best advice is just not giving up. And it's hard to believe in yourself, because there are moments that you're gonna fuck up. Everybody had this. In whatever thing, you want to be a DJ or you want to be a football player, there's no guy that didn't go somewhere with falling and getting up again. So that's the only advice, not giving up and believing in yourself, because that's sometimes a bit the issue. And be yourself,
probably be passionate, because if I hear you talking about it, I mean, spending all your allowance on music means that you were, and probably still are, very passionate about music.
Yes, but when I started, it was also a bit of, I don't know. Music always attracted me. It was, my mom, I was 2 weeks ago, I was with my mom, and mom said, I couldn't even let you study without you having your Walkman in. Back in the days, Walkman, guys, search it on the internet. A Walkman is a thing you put cassettes in. And that she said that I couldn't study without having a Walkman in and having my earplugs in and having music really loud. And back in the days was hardcore, Thunderdome shit. And so when my mom told that, I was like, damn. And I was 13, 14. So I've always been in this music thing. And,
It's your destiny.
Yeah, destiny is maybe a big thing. I think if you know your destiny, then the fun is gone of life.
And this is something that I rarely encounter, even though we do shitloads of interviews with DJs, is you cite Front 2 for 2 and Kraftwerk and the early Detroit stuff as an influence. And a lot of people, I found out that they don't even listen to the roots of dance.
Without these guys, we didn't have electronic music. As simple as that. You would be hitting a steel drum for the rest of your life. And for instance, Michael Jackson, Quincy Jones, the producer, man, this is the guys, and of course they had drummers and shit like that, but they made the grooves. I can make an amazing groove just by sampling Michael Jackson, for instance. Sound-wise, there's not a lot of people that can. Thriller album, for instance, sounds still 40 years later or 30 years later, still amazing. I mean, you have to listen some records 30 years ago.
Not so good.
No, most of them sound like a wooden, like a cardboard box, and Front 2 for 2, Depeche Mode, for instance, also U2, beginnings of U2.
Lousy productions, though.
But they were, and why? They all went to Berlin, because that's a lot of people. They forget about Berlin. In the past, it was not about electronic music. David Bowie went to Berlin. U2 went to Berlin. Depeche Mode went to Berlin. All these guys, also because they had really good studios there and really good equipment and all that stuff. But before the electronic music, Berlin was already hot.
Hey, 2 tracks that you released. Karma, which is getting played by Pete Tong on BBC Radio 1, which is great. Great track, but I love the artwork as well. Where did you get that?
I didn't make it myself. It's No, it's the concept they have within the Knee Deep. Knee Deep is the label from Hot Since '82, and it's the concept they have with the sleeves. So yeah, it's really cool. It's actually just they use a smoke bomb in different colors, and then they make the picture. So it's actually quite simple, but yeah, simple works.
Again, but I also love the Toxic Funk artwork, the kissing gas masks. I think they're fantastic.
Also other guys, other label. And actually, when it doesn't happen that much that I have to say like I don't like the artwork. If it's so, I will tell, of course. But most of the times, a lot of the guys are really creative, and yeah, if you see good artwork, then you know that these guys are also passionate about it, and you know, once I see that with certain people, label owners, DJs or whatever, then yeah, then I'm just, you know, I'm gone, you know. Yeah, it's strange to say, but it's true.
Hey, going through your Facebook page and Instagram, one thing that struck me is you posted the next post. Hey guys, an Australian friend of mine could use your help with achieving her goals of her final project, an Australian classical music project. Combines dance, literature, the art, Royal Conservative. Well, she's looking for some crowdfunding, which will make her able to get the classic artists in every little piece. Help is really respected, so shout out. I think that's a really cool thing to do. Did she actually get help?
Well, not that much as I wanted, but I told her like, okay, I think your project is really interesting, and has nothing to do with electronic music, but she's an artist, and she.
How did you meet up? I mean, how did you find out about her?
Actually, her husband. We work out together, and all of a sudden he was like, yeah, and my wife is gonna do this, and I was like, she does what? And she's a really good flute player, and she studies. She does her last year now at the conservatorium in Antwerp, and she said about the project, and I told her like, okay, I'm gonna help you out and try to do as much as possible to give you a bit of push. And I told her, you know, I can't, say that everything's gonna happen, or no, yeah, you know, I can.
Just pointing it out is great.
A bit, you know, and
Because is it still open? Can people still go there? And if so, where can they check out more info?
To be honest, I'm not really updated on the infos though.
You know what? I'll check it and we'll put it in. Put it in the edit.
Great, that would be awesome. She would be really happy.
Hey, what holds the near future for you?
A lot of festivals. I just got a confirmation just before we started the interview for an Australia tour.
No shit.
Which is
congratulations, man.
Yeah, it took me.
When will you be there?
In June, I will June 9, 10, 11. I will be Sydney, Melbourne, and somewhere else in Australia. Australia is not so big. Yeah, it's something like that. And then I will do Bali and go to Thailand and then go home.
Hey, if people would like to be on your label, what sort of music should they bring, and how could they send or get the music to you? Do you actually sign other people?
Yeah, but I don't. You know, what is good is good.
So if you feel good about your music, just send it.
Yeah, no. If somebody, most of the guys that I sign on the label are 80% guys that nobody knows. I'm in a position to give somebody else a place to let his voice heard, and I had it in the past too. You know, I was a starting producer 10 years, 15 years ago, so why shouldn't I do it for them?
No, fair enough. But what sort of music are you looking for? I mean, you said good is good. 'Cause, I mean, if I have a great death metal band,
well, that's the thing. That's the thing. If somebody comes up with an amazing commercial track, but if it's really good, sign it, or I would say like, okay, I'm gonna help you out and get it signed with a good label.
And how can they find you?
They can send me a message on Facebook, Ramon Tapia official, or Say What Recordings on Facebook. Send me a message. I will always reply. I'm not shy.
That's obvious.
I don't have the diva attitude.
That's also obvious.
Thank God. So just if you have tracks, send it over. I'll be more than happy to listen to them, and I will reply. If it's shit, I will tell you too. And don't be shy to send your music, because if it's just in the drawer of your studio, then it's going to stay there. And, you know, music has to be heard, not to be in your desk or whatever. So send me your stuff.
Hey, thanks so much for your time.
My pleasure. See you soon.